Hey, Right Riders, Keith Wheeler here, back with another video for you. And tell me if this sounds familiar. You try to publish a book on Amazon KDP and something happens. You get a message back from KDP and it says something's wrong. It says your book got blocked, or worse, your account got terminated. And the worst part is it's so cryptic in what the email says that you have no clue how to respond. Well, if that sounds familiar, then today's video is perfect for you, because in today's video, I'm going to share with you some tips on how to properly communicate with KDP, some best practices, and I'm going to actually show you a way that is almost foolproof to make sure that you're going to communicate to KDP the easiest way that's going to get your best chances of getting an outcome that you're looking for. Okay, the first tip when it comes to communicating with Amazon KDP is don't take it personally. I know these books are your book babies, and so it's very hard, especially if your account gets terminated. I mean, that turns your world upside down. But you need to take a few moments, maybe a day, whatever it takes to get you to calm down. Don't freak out. Understand that at the end of the day, this is a business. The reason why it's affecting you so much is because it's your business, right? So the best way to communicate is politely and professionally. I know that's hard to do, but it can be done. And I'm telling you, that is the best way for you to get at least some kind of positive response from them. I can't guarantee you're going to get the response you want, but if you start off with just blasting them or immediately you're defensive, that's exactly the way they're going to be. Remember, this is just a business to them. Okay. So the people at the other end, that's one thing to remember, is they are human beings at the other end of these emails. And so you get more flies with honey than with vinegar, right? That's what my grandmother used to always say. And it's the truth. You know, if someone at KDP support is reading their emails and they get something in that's just negative and blasting and everything else, they're just going to completely overlook it. If they do respond, they're going to respond something along the lines of something cryptic, and they're not going to take it any further, right? They have no vested interest in taking it any further, because you're already starting off on the bad foot. So the first tip is, again, to take whatever time it takes for you to take a deep breath, to calm down, to remember that this is a business, and to handle your communications in a business manner. Tip number 2 is to be specific, okay? I know their emails may be cryptic, but there are certain things that you need to be specific in order for them to even be able to consider helping you out. The first one is you need to make sure that you include your ASIN, right? Your ASIN is your Amazon's unique identifier for your product, in this case, a book. If you don't have your ASIN and you don't provide it to them, they can't help you even if they wanted to. So then they're going to come back and say, we need an ASIN, assuming they even come back at all. If they do, they're going to come back and say they need an ASIN, which is, again, additional communication that you don't need, okay? There's a way to communicate back to them after you get the response that you get from them initially. Maybe your cover got blocked because of guideline issues. And again, I know it's cryptic. It's not going to say exactly what you did wrong. Maybe, again, your account got terminated. Whatever it is, when you communicate back, you need to make sure that you include your ASIN, so that way they know exactly what book you're talking about. Thirdly, you want to try to be upbeat. You want to try to be positive. Regardless of what it is, you want to let them know that, apologetic if you need to be, depending on what the issue is. But you want to let them know that it is a business to you, and you want to stay on the right side. But in order to do that, we need to communicate. We need to figure out exactly what the issue is, so that way on your end, you can fix it, right? But again, you want to be upbeat and, let them know that, whatever you misconstrued or whatever guidelines you didn't follow, it was not intentional, and that your goal is to continue this relationship with KDP, and you're going to do everything that in your power to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Again, reassuring KDP that whatever the issue was, even if it was intentional, that it was accidental, that it was not intentional, that you won't do it again. And you can do it very professionally, but I've found in my experience and with students that I've coached in situations like this, that you don't want to answer a cryptic message in an automated message with an automated response, right? You want it to sound personal, and having it upbeat and positive is definitely a great way to get on the person's good side, if you will. I mean, if it comes down to a decision that the person reading this email that they have a decision to make, you want them to make it in favor of you. So you want your message to be positive. Again, not taking any, not attacking them, not in a negative way, but also upbeat. And the fourth tip is be honest. Ask for explanations, ask for specifics. Remember, I said you want to be specific in giving your ASIN. You also want them to be specific. So ask them, what exactly what exactly is wrong with the cover? What guidelines exactly did I miss? What area, where did I fault? Again, not pushing blame on them, accepting responsibility, but saying again in an upbeat way, can you be more specific? This email was kind of cryptic. I want to make sure that I do everything in the right way and stay on Amazon KDP's good side and stay within the boundaries that you've set. So please let me know exactly what where I missed. And a good way to do that is, you just respond to the email they send you. But again, asking them honestly, can you be more specific? This is the message I got. It doesn't really say exactly what was wrong with my cover. Can you be more specific? And I have found, honestly, 9 times out of 10, that they will come back with, this is what was missed. This is the guideline that was not followed, or this is what was wrong with your interior. This is what was wrong with your keywords or whatever. They are very helpful, but it really comes down to that email response that you send. And so again, these are just some of the tips that I've found that absolutely work. And I will say, closing it out with something again that they can take personally in a positive way. So saying something like, again, I love the relationship I have with Amazon KDP, and I really appreciate everything that you at KDP Support do for the author community. Something like that. Something that lets the end user, because again, these are people reading these emails. These are not bots reading it. You might get a bot response, but when, initially, that initial cryptic email, but when you respond to Amazon KDP Support, you're getting an actual human being that's reading those emails and that's responding back. And so for them to see that you do appreciate, I mean, if you've ever worked in a 9-to-5 job, how sometimes, maybe a lot of times, you feel unappreciated, like nobody appreciates all the work that you do. So to get that back from a customer can make a big difference. So these are just some of the tips that I've found work. And again, I'll be honest, I've had my account early on, I had my KDP account terminated. And I've said this in other videos. I've had my account terminated and I got it reinstated because of tips like this. Again, I've also worked with hundreds of students that I've worked with over the years where responding to these emails with things like this, like the tips that I've given, again, not taking it personally, even though it is personal, but in your email response back, it should not be attacking them. It should not be defensive. It really should be professional, but not in a boring, stagnant way. Adding personality to it is something that I have found really makes a difference, because again, you're not responding to a bot. You're responding to an actual human being. Now, I'm not done. I'm going to show you a way that can make this a little bit easier for you to create these emails, and especially if maybe English isn't your first language, and that's completely fine. I'm going to show you a way that can make creating these emails a heck of a lot quicker, and you don't have to take the time to take a deep breath and not take it personal. I'll show you a way where you can literally respond minutes really after you get that initial email from KDP, and you can respond in a way that is going to kind of follow the tips that I just shared, but also it's going to do it in a lot faster way, and it's going to do it, and it's going to make it personal. It's going to make it so again, it doesn't sound cryptic, but it's going to cover the items that I talked about today. And again, it's going to save you time, because you're not going to have to think about it. You're not going to have to, think about rewriting it. And, do I sound to this or to that? Did I forget something? I'm going to show you how to do it very quickly. And while I can't guarantee it's going to give you the end response that you want, because at the end of the day, it all comes down to the decisions that Amazon KDP makes. And also obviously depends on each situation. But I will tell you that what I've shared already, these tips, in addition to the way I'm going to show you in a second, a quicker way to generate those, is going to increase your chances of getting a response back in as positive a way as possible. Again, can't guarantee that it's going to go exactly the way you want, but 98% of the time it's going to come back at least with a response to your response, right? It's not going to be just, you send an email back and you get crickets. Nobody ever responds back, or they respond back and just say, they basically repeat the same cryptic comment or message over and over again. This is going to increase your chances of getting a good experience with Amazon KDP, increasing your chances of getting the response that you want and hope for. And at the end of the day, it's going to save you time. Okay. If you've enjoyed the tips I gave you, and you're excited to find out what I'm going to talk about in a second, give this video a thumbs up. It gives me a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling, but also lets YouTube know to share this video with other people like you, authors and self-publishers like you that might want to communicate with KDP, but you want to communicate with KDP in a way that's not going to be so cryptic, right? Okay, so I know that the tips that I gave you might seem a little too much, or it might seem like, especially the calming down and to not take it personal, that might be more than you can do. Or maybe you just don't want to waste the time, okay? I've actually gone in and I've created something. It's called the GPT. I know a lot of you might be against AI, but just hear me out. This is something that I created myself, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use it and how quick and easy it can generate these response emails in an informative, upbeat, but more importantly, conversational way where you can get a response back from KDP that is going to be as close to a positive response as you can get. Again, I can't make any guarantees, but this is going to allow you to create the email that I talked about, with all the tips that I've included, as well as a couple other ones. And it's going to let you do it quicker, especially if it's something like you just got your account terminated. That drastically affects your business, and time is of the essence. But you're concerned, you're worried, you're mad, whatever it is. You don't want it to take the days it might take for you to calm down. And truth is if you're anything like me, I'm Irish, so if the longer I take to calm down, I get more and more irritated and more upset. So that's actually going to be counterproductive. So again, using this GPT will create an email that you can send to KDP in response to the email they sent you, and it'll generate it in mere seconds. Let me show you how. Okay, so here we are on ChatGPT. I'm actually logged in as, over here, I'll show you on a free account. Right there, it's free. Or here I can upgrade my plan. Anyway, it shows you how to respond the right way to KDP, generating a polished, upbeat emails in seconds, okay? All you have to do, the information that you're going to need, and it's going to walk you through it, but here's what you need. You're going to need the author name, and that's literally because at the bottom of the email it creates, it's going to give you a signature, and it's just going to sign off your name. You're going to need, ideally, the title to your book. Your ASIN you absolutely need. It's going to ask you what the error type is. It's going to give you like 6 options. And then it's going to ask you to copy and paste in the message that you got from Amazon. So that way it can read what the issues are and paraphrase it so that in the email, so that way, again, it's a custom message specific to your situation. So all you have to do when you get access to the Respond Right GPT is you're just going to click right here where it says create a KDP response email. So imagine you got an email from KDP, whatever it said, your account got blocked, there's something wrong with your cover, your account got terminated, your book got blocked, whatever, and whatever that email is that you got from KDP, you get that, and then you're going to click here, create a KDP response, and it's going to walk you step by step through it. Great, let's get your reply ready. What's your author name for the signature? So I'm just going to say Keith Wheeler, and it's not necessarily going to be the author name for that book. It's going to be whatever your account name is with KDP. So whatever the username that you're using, of course, mine is Keith Wheeler. Okay. What's the book title? Again, and I'm doing these step by step so that way you're not overwhelmed with a whole bunch of things. So the book title for this one is, so then my ASIN, which issue type is this? Please choose one number. So you're going to go in and is it blocked book, metadata error, cover image rejection, account suspension warning, account termination, or just a generic unclear response. So in the example I'm going to give you, this one, we got an email back saying that we had to prove that we had access to, that we had the rights to this particular book, to this content, or that it's in public domain. We do have rights to it. So that's what it's going to be. So I'm just going to say generic because that is kind of generic. You could also type in generic or whatever. All right. And then please paste in the KDP email you received verbatim. I'll paraphrase it for your reply so the message feels tailored. All right. So I've got the email from KDP, right? The one that I initially got. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to copy what they put. I'm not going to include the signature, but other than that, I'm just going to copy it in here and hit enter. They're just confirming everything that I put in. Make sure that I didn't put anything in correctly, so I can just double check everything. Right now, everything looks good. And again, this is a little synopsis, a little paraphrase of what the issue was. So shall I draft the message now? I'll just say yes. And there we go. So that quickly, it drafted a response that I literally can just copy. And I'm going to read it, but I can literally just copy this right here, copy and paste it into the response to the message they sent me. So real quick, hello KDP support. I received your message regarding my book, Leo's Wild Adventure, ASIN, asking me to confirm publishing rights. I want to assure you that I hold the publishing rights to this title, and I would like to proceed with publication in full compliance with KDP's guidelines. Again, it's upbeat, it's positive, but it's saying, that I want to follow your guidelines. Could you please confirm the next step I should take to ensure my book continues through the publishing process without interruption? I will promptly follow any instructions you provide. Thank you very much for your guidance and for the continued support that you offer to authors. I truly appreciate the opportunity to publish with KDP. Warm regards, Keith Wheeler. So again, it's everything I talked about. It's concise, but it's professional, but it's also upbeat and positive. It's it's not being attacked or anything like that. That quickly, all I did was have to enter in 5 or 6 different things very quickly, and I've generated this message. You don't have to think about it, especially again if maybe English isn't your first language, and you don't have to worry about am I using the right word for this. It's all generated that quickly. So again, I can literally just copy and paste this message from here down to the signature, copy, go into the email they sent me, hit respond, paste that in, and then send it off. So I know some of you may be afraid of AI, but I hope I've shown with that GPT that I created that it's super quick, super easy, very little input that you need to put in there, but it's gonna give you a custom response, but it's not gonna be cryptic. It's not gonna sound like a bot created it, because that's the way I programmed it, is so that way it is conversational and it's upbeat, and I've tested it. It works so well. I'm very pleased with the outcome of it. So if you're excited about all that, again, you can head on over to kwheelerbooks.com/respond, and you can check that out for yourself. Now, don't let the learning stop here. I've got this video right here, which is one of my favorites, and I've got so many positive comments from it. So I'd love for you to see it. But if you've already seen it already, or maybe you're not interested in it, find folks over at YouTube say that this video right here is perfect for you. I'll catch you inside one of these videos. And remember to write right.